Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and today I wanted to go over something in Super Auto Pet. So I don't cover this game too often currently. However, I ended up doing something in this game that I haven't actually seen posted on YouTube yet, so I figured I'd post a video on it since I believe this might actually be the first. So of course, in Super Auto Pets, you get a little medal whenever you get a level 3 pet up to level 3, and then another little badge thingy next to it once you actually win with it as level 3, and there are a bunch of hidden ones like bees, chicks, and other various things, and one of them that is absurdly annoying is the Sloth. In 130 hours of gameplay so far, I have seen it one singular time, meaning I technically have a 100% win rate with it currently. So I mostly just want to go show the battle and kind of just do some commentary on how the battle went leading up to that point and just kind of general strategy. But before we do, let's just go straight into actually watching the battle itself. Unfortunately, this was not in my completion live stream that we did a few days ago. We were able to get everything else to level 3, however we weren't able to find a Sloth, but while I was eating dinner I was able to go get it, so that was kind of convenient. So somewhere's in all these replays, let's see, right there is the Sloth. So let's go over this. Is it slowed? Hopefully it's slowed right now. So let's kind of just go over this one by one. So as you can see here, we have a kind of melon armored up team. Generally, you want to go put a bee onto your last slot or any kind of one up to make sure that you don't end up dying. If you're trying to get level 3s on anything, one of the easiest ways to do it is either penguin if you're doing the free deck, or if you're doing the paid deck doing the gosh, why did I forget its name? The Poodle. Poodle or Penguin, the two Ps, tend to be pretty good for scaling up everything. You just get them to level 2, they just go crazy. His team's a little bit weird. He ended up staking his gorilla. Normally, you do not want to put steak ever on your gorilla. You should only really ever do melon, or maybe garlic if you're doing like a poke, like with an elephant or with a hedgehog. However, that steak definitely should have been on like penguin or monkey there, depending on which route he wanted to do. So a little bit weird that is like that. Normally, you'd want a gorilla back like to second slot so that if they have like a bus or something, you would end up getting the protection off of it. But as you can see here, yeah, we end up just winning out. We end up getting our first kill there. He does end up killing here. However, we have another tank ready to go. We have a stake in our middle, mostly to break up our 3 tanks. So we have a double frontline tank. So if they do happen to go Scorpion, we'd basically be exactly where we are right now. So we'd still have a pretty decent tank that has at least enough damage to kill out a 50. You normally want to make sure that if you are doing this method, it has to be able to survive a, ideally a, well, at least a 50 damage hit. And right now it has 60. And you want to make sure it can do at least 70 in 2 pokes. The main reason for this is if you did get Scorpioned out, with the little 1-up, if you did have your tank up there and you didn't have like a counter or like some kind of like chili or something up front, you want to make sure you have something in second slot that can do at least 70 damage, so that if they have melon armor for 70 total durability, 2 hits of 35 plus will be able to kill them. And in this case with double 39, that would be way more than enough to kill whatever unit is here. However, we're going to kill it quite easily since we still had the previous unit. We wound up getting it here, but this is kind of why we have the stake. If we would have had our swan here, it would have taken substantial damage, possibly even died if it had less than 50 durability, which often it would have less than 50. However, we were able to go and get the stats a little bit higher there, luckily from having a pretty early swan. As you can see here, you might actually notice, well, you can't see anymore because the HP thing has been reduced, but he actually has a line underneath his attack. On the very last turn, I ended up doing a cupcake. I did find like 1 or 2 extra chocolates. Obviously, every chocolate went to the Sloth, though there was 2 spears. I can't remember what one the spears went to, but the other one we had all the way at the end, and it could have went on to swan, but instead of getting swan upgraded, I did go for the cupcake, so we had 3 extra stats. I had a feeling it might be needed, though luckily it was not, but you never know. Stat difference can make a bit of a difference. So right here, steak coming through pretty nicely. If it had something like melon armor, or actually chili would have been okay here too, I guess. In this one particular situation, actually would have been some decent value, but regardless, steak here is mostly for the anti-tank. You want whatever's doing like 1 billion damage to have died before it ends up reaching your final tank. So we end up doing this, and while we didn't need it, of course we have a 1-up on the Sloth to make sure that if we trade, we will at least tie or ideally win in those situations, and that's basically how it ends up going down. As far as the progression, unfortunately, the pre-play system in this game currently only tracks the very last battle, so I can't really show the other 14. However, I can kind of go over what ends up happening. So, of course, at least in the current state of the game, though I'm pretty sure it'll change after many more balance patches, but fish into otter is one of the easiest ways to to go. Fish, otter, and cricket if you're doing free deck, or even if you're not. Two of them are. I was gonna say I thought all three were for second and paid deck, but no, otter isn't. But cricket and fish and otter if you're doing free deck, really good starting options. Most times in free deck, it's going to be one of those three almost every single time if you can end up helping it. So basically, the way that we ended up starting on this round is on the very first 2 rounds, we end up stocking up on as many fish and otters as we possibly can, with the otter obviously buffing up the fish to become very big. We then end up getting a level up on both of them when we end up hitting round 3 on stage 2, which end up giving us tier 3s. With those two tier 3s, we end up getting a badger as well as a giraffe. The giraffe was immediately put on the team due to its scaling. The other one wasn't put in until it became a honey badger on the following turn. And then as soon as we end up hitting tier 3, either on the very first tier 3 or the second round of tier 3, we end up seeing a sloth. So obviously during that time, we're also picking up some swans whenever we had the spare capability to, on tier 2s, tier 3s, stuff like that. And once we finally saw that sloth on tier 3, even though it's a tier 1 that could appear at any point, that's when it happened to have appeared, we had to obviously pivot off of what we were currently doing. So the first thing that I believe went was, oddly enough, the giraffe, mostly just because I wanted to make sure I didn't lose, so I did keep the honey badger for 1 extra round. It cost us +1/+1. However, I had a feeling we'd be scaling enough that it wouldn't really necessarily matter, because our swan, I believe by that point, was already level 2, though we got a useless tier 4, so I couldn't put it down. And then by the time we actually hit tier 4, we ended up seeing double penguin into bison, which was insanely good to end up having that. So basically what we end up doing is going with the penguins first. Normally you would place both those 2 penguins independently. However, we didn't have enough slots because, well, the sloth was there. So we had to go and just kind of pile them on top of each other. And then everything from there was basically just getting bison. And then we basically had this standard 5 team where we had all 5 of these on our team. Then from there was mostly just upgrading everything, getting them their proper equipment and just letting them scale. And obviously every single chocolate from round 5 onwards went entirely into the sloth. We did get 2 spears, which is really surprising. Sometimes you get some really bad luck during the end when you're trying to get a level 3 win on various characters. However, we had 8 total chocolate, 7 total chocolate, because one of the levels, because you only need 2 and then 3. So we had 7 total chocolates, which was actually a lot, given that 15 rounds. In which, I can't remember when round 5 starts, or when tier 5 starts, but I believe that's like 7, 8 attempts. Of course, a bunch of rerolls. I pretty much just hard rerolled the entire time until we found penguins, bisons, until we got to level 2, and that was basically it, just hard rolling until we found chocolates, penguins, and that's basically all we wanted, and if we found some spear equipment. I believe one of these was a melon armor off of turtle, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, you can just pill turtle, it becomes melon armor, you're good to go. You can end up doing that with ox too by just pilling something in front of it, obviously. And yeah, that was pretty much the main strategy that we end up doing to end up killing it out. So I'll probably be covering some guide videos on this game going into the future. If you guys still have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. This game I definitely play pretty casually, though. I've definitely been enjoying it so far. Haven't played too many auto battlers in the past, but this is definitely a very fun one and a pretty easy basic one to end up getting into. And I guess we'll just go show the win one last time at some normal auto play speed. And yeah, I'm not sure if this has been done before. I know a level 3 sloth win has been done, though I'm not sure if 100% completion has. I'm pretty sure it has somewheres. However, I haven't seen a YouTube video on it yet. So this might be the first. But any other questions, do feel free to leave it in the comment section below. And I will catch all of you guys later. Hope you all have a wonderful week. And best of luck if you're also trying for 100%, 200% completion, or whatever on earth this is called when you get metal on every single pet in the game. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a like. Feel free to subscribe, as I will be touching on this here and there. I cover some indie games from time to time, and pretty much just whatever I feel like for the most part from time to time. Like we'll be doing the new Pokemon game this Friday as well when it ends up coming out, and all that good stuff. Anyways, guys, catch you later. Best of luck. Goodbye, everyone.